Hello and thank you for joining me today on The Political Conversationalist. My name is Ben Phipps, and as far as I can tell, this is our final video on controversial topics, and today we're talking about the defense budget. There's this pie chart floating around the internet showing that the government spends like 50 to 60 whatever percent of all its expenditures on defense, and so I decided to look into some official numbers, and I found the Congressional Budget Office, who actually give out the money to other government agencies to spend. They said they spent $590 billion on defense in 2017. That's a lot of money. But total money spent by the federal government was $3.7 trillion. So defense is obviously not the majority or the most of the budget. In fact, it's behind Social Security and it's behind Medicare. But many people wonder, we're not in a major war right now, so why are we spending $590 billion? And I think that can be explained through a couple things. Firstly, the U.S. is bound by treaties to defend about a quarter of the world's population. A quarter of the world's population. Whether it be a written treaty, a specific treaty, whether it be some kind of group like NATO or something like that, or whether it just be a verbal agreement like what we have kind of with Israel, whereas if they go to war, we will protect them. And to be able to protect yourself when you have 300 million people and a whole lot of land area, and to be able to protect a quarter of the world's population is a very difficult thing to do. And you have to have a big military and you have to have a good military, and both of those things normally come at the cost of an expensive military. Another thing is that we include some things in our defense budget that other nations may not, or maybe that just surprise you. We include healthcare for military families, healthcare for retired veterans, and also retirement pay are all included under defense spending. And of course, we have to pay our troops. Troop pay was apparently $50 billion in direct pay, I believe, in 2015 statistics. So there were, troops don't make very much money as compared to an average job, and that's really not fair. They really should be paid more. They're literally in the line of fire. But every time we increase troop pay, we increase the defense budget. So keep that in mind. Also, $72 billion in 2015 went to research and development through DARPA. And DARPA doesn't just research military technologies. They also research chemical engineering and bioengineering and things that are good for humanity as a whole and things that really are pushing the world into the future. They also give a lot of money to university research programs. So it's a very important arm of the government to have DARPA pushing technology into the future. Another thing could be that the CIA, FBI, NSA, all those government investigative agencies are actually considered part of defense and therefore are under the defense budget. You would think that we would have extremely well-equipped troops with all of this, but that's not always the case. In fact, the average age of an Air Force plane is 25.9 years old. So obviously, even with all the money we spend on defense, it wouldn't hurt the military to spend a little bit money on defense, more money on defense, especially troop pay, especially technological research and development, and maybe specifically the Air Force, I don't know. But if you want a real number on how much percentage-wise of total expenditures the government spends on defense, in 2015 it was 16% of the total budget. So don't believe the hype that we spend so much on our defense and we're a military-industrial complex bent on taking over the world, or we want a fort in every country in the world, or whatever it is that, historically speaking, the left likes to say. The vast majority of our military spending is totally founded and is very well explained when we look at just what we classify as defense and what we classify as defense spending. I hope you learned something today. If you did, leave me a comment, leave me a like. You can always subscribe. If you have a question, comment, suggestion even for a future video, go through my Facebook page, link down below. You don't have to like my Facebook page, but I would appreciate it. And email me from there. And I will take any and all suggestions to heart. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a blessed day.